All right, throwing the Lutz on hole 1. Whew, ace run. K3 Reiko. Probably about 10 feet away from the basket. Birdie. All right, so comparatively to the last hole, about 9 feet shorter, throwing the same disc, the Lutz. Pretty much kind of the same drive, gonna push it out to the right, let it fade back in. And we're parked. Same putter, K3 Vereco, about 25 feet out. This is also for birdie. A good first shot with the Lutz. Again, going with the K1 grind Lutz. This hole is a little bit longer than the previous one. Pretty much hitting the same shot. Pretty much just a flat shot going to a small little fade. Hopefully it parked again. Okay. That is probably about like 25 feet away from the basket. All right, pretty much same putter, K3 Reiko. Actually had a little bit of a skip out behind the tree, so that put me about probably 40 to 45 feet away from the basket. And so I'm gonna have to probably put the putter on a little bit of a tilt, and hopefully it goes in for birdie so I can be under 2. Little low. Snuck her in there. And this is the Stieg. It is the Valentine's Day edition. Probably one of my favorites. Kind of black swirl, like a charcoal gray swirl with the white, super understable mid-range driver. And this hole, it's saying it's about 300 feet, but I think it's a little bit less than that. I think it's probably about I think it plays like 293. But we're gonna go see if we can pipe this down the middle here. All right, we're probably about 35 feet away from the basket. So I came up a little bit shorter than I thought. I'm probably within 20 feet now. Let's see if we can get birdie with the Stig. And that's birdie. This is the K3 line of the Yun. It's a 4.5 speed with a 3 glide. It's a neutral with a fade of 3. This light pole isn't necessarily like a Mando, but to make it a little bit harder on myself on this hole, I usually play like it's a Mando. So basically I want to hit that right side and let it drop in rather than just going straight in at the basket. So we're gonna see if we can hit a hyzer tilt and let it just kind of just fade in there, because that's really what this disc is for. It's a very overstable approach disc. A little wide, but you can see how it sort of drops down, and I'm still within 50 feet of the basket. Again, going with the K3 Reiko. We're gonna be putting for birdie. Came up way shorter than I thought. Probably within 30 feet now for birdie. Oh, tipped out the chains. Throwing the Stieg understable mid-range driver. This is pretty much what this disc is kind of built for. This hole is saying about 282. It plays straight with like a kind of inverted sort of fairway. Everything kind of pushes towards like a middle, and then it finishes off about, I would say, 60 feet away from the pad, and the basket is tucked in back on that right side. And so I play this hole on really an anhyzer. So we're gonna see what we can do. Perfect. Again, just letting the disc kind of move to the right naturally. Should have thrown a more understable putter because I completely blasted past the hole. So on a approach like this, I can't necessarily putt because there is like a dip. There's like a little bit of a ravine right here for a sewer system. So all I'm gonna do is make the game way simpler on myself, and I'm gonna grab the Berg X for my approach shot. Berg X. Now I'm just gonna let it float towards the basket pretty much, aiming at that fire hydrant. A little deep, a little deep. So this is the Alva from Kastaplast. It's a distance driver, the K1 line. This is also the first run that I was able to get my hands on. It flies a little overstable than the other Alva that I have, which I believe is the Clay Edwards edition. So hopefully it'll get me there. Yep, and we are up by the basket. Going with the K3 Reco. Pretty much parked it. Probably like my best shot on this hole. Birdied. Throwing the Lutz, K1 grind. Hole is about 302, I guess. Plays off slightly to the left. So this is definitely backhand central. And just letting it fade out, you know. I did push it a little bit more center than I wanted it. Kind of wanted that left line, but that's good enough right there. So pretty much landed within, I would say 22 feet. We got an uphill basket. So I can either like lay it up, play the safe game, or go for it, but no one plays it safe around here, at least not me. So let's go for birdie. Just a nice uphill shot. And we got it. Throwing the K3 line of the Yarn. Oh, hit a little bit of leaves, but I still came out good. We came out about, again, probably 23 feet away from the basket. A good approach shot from the Yarn. Hit some leaves on the way in. It probably could have scooted up a little bit more. But let's see if we can get this birdie. All right, throwing the Lutz on hole 10. 330, 330 feet, par 3. Oh, yeah. Bad shot, bad shot. And going with the Berg X on the approach here. Not a great shot first time around, but let's see if we can save par and get it parked underneath the basket. A little wide, but that's puttable. We're a little deep from range right now, just a tad bit. Just a nice little flick putt up there. All right, going with my throwing putter. This is the K1 Soft Rayco. It's a little bit of an understable, well, a lot understable, a lot understable putter. And I'm gonna play this safe game. I'm pretty much gonna throw it about, what is this, like 279. Pretty much gonna throw it right up to that tree and then make my approach shot because there is a little bit of OB water on this side. Okay, and I'm right beside the tree. We'll see what the Berg X does from this range. Oh, okay. So yeah, pretty much a straight shot with the Berg X. Much rather prefer that. Going for par save. Nice little slight uphill shot. Par save. So throwing the K1 Soft Rayco. Very bendy disc, very understable. Hopefully throwing a flip up hyzer straight towards the basket. I'm gonna see how flat I can get this disc through this narrow shot. I think it plays like 220, it said. Yeah, 220, par 3. Oh, did not flip out. So, didn't come out as a bad shot. Kind of got fluffed out by these leaves right here and died right on the side of the fairway. So, just pretty much a simple backhand. Gonna put my foot right here, just coming up, doing a simple backhand hyzer straight towards the basket, hopefully. Okay, pretty good. Kind of stuck behind this tree. Gonna kind of straddle the basket, what they call it. Nice little flick. Okay, so this is the K3 line of the yarn. This is the overstable approach disc from Kastaplast. This is basically a hole that this disc is pretty much built for. It's 269, and so let's see where we can get from here. Oh, that's perfect. Yep, absolutely perfect. All right. Throwing with the K3 Rayco. Not a bad shot. We'll see if we can just lay up, or we can go for birdie. Oh, so close. So this is a short hole that I'm not necessarily great at. It's 184 feet, par 3, and it's hard right. You can't really forehand this hole because you're gonna come up and hit this tree. You can take the back route, which is a backhand through here, but I want to see if I can throw an Annie through the tunnel. Again, this is with the K1 Soft Rayco. Oh wow, that's perfect. And we're pretty much underneath the basket. Putting with the K3 Rayco. Pretty much 30 feet or less. I'd probably say like 27 for birdie. That's birdie. Throwing the Lutz This is par 3, 336. A little bit of on a high basket. Shouldn't be a problem though. It's gonna come up a little short. I'm gonna not flatten it out. It's okay. Through about 280 or so feet, I'm gonna throw the Berg X for my approach shot. All right, hole 16, throwing the K3 yarn. Got out to the middle. Throwing the Berg X for my second shot. Oh, got a little bit. All right, didn't have two good throws. Had some trees in my line. This is for par. Not a bad run. Coming out with the Stoll fairway driver. A lot more overstable than the Lutz. Pretty much piped down the middle of the fairway perfectly. Throwing the Berg X on my second shot. Oh, sit, sit, sit. That should be good. I came out a little far. Not the ideal spot, but we're gonna see if we can save par with the putt. Ah. 220, yeah, 226 out, K3 line of the yarn, Kastaplast. So, threw over this like little pit of water. Not a bad shot. This is for birdie on hole 18.